Whoa, rocket ship. Round 2 with Nicole Ortega. Welcome back to the show, you giggly bundle of cells.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Well, we're going to see if Nicole's going to even be able to utter cohesive words this stream, or if it's just going to be blissful giggles.
That's the whole show. It's like, oh, you got it right. Through telepathy. That's right.
Yeah. The reflection is blissful giggles for New Earth, basically. this whole video is just going to be one blissful reflection for New Earth. It's ridiculous. Oh my gosh. I love it. Oh. Ooh. Okay. See, the thing is, because we have our basic needs met, we can giggle uncontrollably.
That's it.
Ooh.
No fear. No fear, baby.
Yeah, exactly. No scarcity, no fear. Gosh. It's so much harder to just bliss out when, like, the body's just fearfully, scarcely needing to move to get a basic need. So this is like the God's highest will is basic needs on earth, because it enables this blissful giggleness and freedom, creativity.
Flow.
Yeah.
Or the knowing that there's always replenishment.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there could be people experiencing the basic needs, yet still will it run out? So
Right. Replenishment. Basically infinity, yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, so it's interesting. So it's infinite basic needs. Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Infinite basic need.
Yeah.
Uh,
Nice. I love that.
mm, mm. I actually sometimes when people pay me for programs, I'm like, send me 8,888. It's always infinite.
Oh yeah, the infinity eights are infinity signs. I just got that.
Yeah.
Ah. Right.
Hmm.
uh, I guess this is the mode that is there's like this mode, which is just a total cheese, and then there's like just bringing New Earth as catalyst, because There's
Like,
so much contraction in the planetary roots, and like giggling can only it can, it's a different form of catalyst in a way to see like like joy, and like eminent joy is like its own catalyst of like peace and decentralization and that kind of stuff. um, I know you wanted to do a show and talk about something you were offering, I think. But
oh,
we've been like cheesing for like 2 hours before this, catching up, and then talking about all kinds of shit, and then and the beginning of this rocket ship was just bliss. And I guess we titled the episode about poverty to prosperity, so infinite basic needs is going to come up. But what was the program or whatnot that you wanted to bring up?
what was it? Let's see. I forgot. I'm like, this is so fun. Bringing people into this prosperity consciousness. So I'm helping people shift from lack mindset into infinite abundance. And it's not numbers, because I've had lots of millionaire clients that live in lack and poverty consciousness. So it's not a number, it's a frequency.
Yeah.
And when people taste, feel, experience that yumminess of, I'm always going to be supported, I'm always going to be provided, I can relax,
Right.
relief, that's priceless.
Nice. Okay, so do you want to offer that as a reflection? Is like a constitutionalization as infinite basic needs or abundance, to just and any limitation that's preventing that to be obliterated, basically.
Right, because I mean, the level of joy that I have experienced, that I have received by the experience of my clients and students receiving joy out of bursting the bubble of the rat race. Like the joy that they can find in their families, in their marriages, in their health, in their well-being, in their passions, and like eradicating the problem of poverty changes every single aspect of somebody's life.
Mm-hmm. Now, you said that for people that already have a lot of money, that it can sometimes be that there's not a feeling of abundance, but there's still scarcity or fear and that kind of stuff. But what about the opposite?
Oh,
Like,
that
yeah, so like this, what about this reflection for someone that doesn't have any money, and that they're how to break limits that are like the body's, I mean, like the most poverty imaginable, like a total slum. And
yeah,
yeah.
that's why I've been in this journey for 2 years. I played the slum. So I chose to be homeless and like travel with no money to test if if the universe actually was going to support me. So it did. I mean, I always received what I needed the moment I needed, and a bit more. It's like magic. It's like it always, consciousness supports itself. So if somebody that has nothing lives on the street shifts the belief that they can be supported no matter what, they instantly would get a reflection of an opportunity that will open up a portal for them to have a different frame of reality of more abundance. And the loop keeps increasing. So it works for anybody.
Mm-hmm. So this like yeah, this distributed network of consciousness is always supporting itself, kind of as long as it's open to receiving, and it's bringing
That-
forth. Go ahead.
That's what it is. It's an openness to receive. Right. Yet deeper than that. Like to me, it was cellular memory of poverty conditioning. Like it's not as simple as, well, to me, it wasn't as simple as telling myself, you'll always be supported. I had to feel it in my bones, kind of thing. Like it was a recalibration of DNA.
Yeah, yeah, nice.
Yeah. Somatic.
Right. Interesting. So the poverty conditioning is very, or scarcity conditioning is very somatic and cellular, and that's where a good amount of the liberation happens in like body scanning.
Yes. Body scanning and just being aware of the sensations. That's how perhaps my whole passion for self realization tied with uncovering the unreality of poverty consciousness. Because we need the state of awareness to hold the space for those contractions to dissolve into the infinity pool of bliss.
Mm. And abundance.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, it just came up like I don't know some days ago, like or a week ago or something, just like driving, and then there was like that I didn't know what to do because of the toll road thing. I didn't know exactly if I had the thing that I needed or not because it was a new car and all this kind of stuff, and just you could feel the contraction of like avoiding the toll just in case of like not having what you need and that kind of stuff. And you can like you can definitely sense it. It's like a it's definitely a sensation. It's definitely a contractive sensation when something that's infinite doesn't take the infinite abundant
Route.
route. Yeah.
Oh, jinx.
Jinx.
Yeah, it's so bodily. Like every new choice that I took in the seeming quest that was just me looping myself in infinity, my own psyche, it was like I had to push myself and my body to take the next highest abundant investment action.
Right.
As little as like now I'm gonna pay more for my rent, or now I'm gonna take the first class flight, or now I'm gonna empty my bank account to support a friend and trust that I'm gonna be resupported. Like
Right.
every single action, like my body was like, but I did it like shaking because I knew it was gonna recalibrate
Right.
the
Right.
system.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Nice. That happened recently too. Maybe like a month or two ago, like supporting a friend, even though I was getting very close to zero. Uh, so, but that it was like a shaky one, and it was a beautiful recalibration. Yeah, it's like
It's like,
you. Did you say it's like magic?
yeah, go on, tell me.
Just yeah, it is a. It's a beautiful recalibration, or like it's like you're living what I just made a content on, which was about like the human network is a reflection of the decentralized distributed biology system. So if the trees and the mushrooms underground are exchanging resources in harmony without senses of self, sense centers and contractions and all kinds of things like that, then you can feel it in your own body when you let go of you like live the actual uh the actual constitution of being a distributed network without a center. You live it, you know? And that's how
Yes, it's
consciousness can support itself because it's receiving on the end where the money's being sent and supported, and then it's being replenished where and more by taking these incremental expansions.
Heck yes. That's exact. I mean, what a beautiful visual.
Nice.
Because it's such a delicious permission slip to do that and see how the center dissolves out of the self transcendent experience of releasing control.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's full surrender.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it. That's a good way to describe it. That's a perfect releasing of control and surrendering by believing, destroying the limit and believing in abundance and infinite basic needs, basically. Yeah. Like the mushrooms and trees and whatnot, there's no concept of limitation.
Nature just grows and gives
Yeah.
and receives. It's the infinite giving and receiving loop.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Everything in the soil networks is just constantly in giving and receiving. Yeah. It's just it's literally scientists have been trying to track, and it's just so difficult to try to track and understand what's going on in soil. It's so difficult because it's so it's like interpenetrative osmosis on steroids. It's crazy. Yeah. The fuck.
Interdependence, interpenetrative steroids.
Interpenetrative osmosis on steroids. Okay. The weirdest way to describe a biological network. Yeah.
It's happening.
That's what humans are like too, but then there's all of the contractions. And it does start within. It starts with one's own cellular memory 100%. 100%, because that repatterns everything. Even just the like poverty consciousness is pretty strong with not only being open to receive, but also learning how to ask.
Yes.
Yeah, and like being basically there's a whole retraining process with the fearlessness that's associated with, and confidence that's associated with asking.
Right. It's humble.
Yeah.
It's the energy behind the asking though, because when that's reprogrammed, like I ask every day. Every day I'm just like, but with like excitement and joy. Yet in poverty consciousness, the ask comes from beggar consciousness and with shame and guilt and apathy and pride. So that's what blocks the synergy of the interpenetration of life.
Yeah.
Intercreation.
Yeah. Okay, and then when it doesn't come from the ask, what word did you use for the ask? If it's coming from shame, what beggar consciousness? What's non-beggar asking called?
Equal co-player of the game of life.
Okay, cool. Yeah, like an equal co-player, basically. Yeah, great. Super resonant, because that's kind of where the ask is coming from, a place of like basically the network in a way. The ask is coming from a network instead of from it's kind of like when the mushrooms, this is what I'm saying, this shit's really fascinating how science is trying to understand this, but it's basically sending some sort of like an electrical chemical signal, pheromonal biological signal across all of those domains of sense and electricity and whatnot. And then that's the request for what it needs. Yeah. And so there's no beggar. Yeah. Shame or whatever. Yeah.
It actually sends a signal.
Yeah. Right.
You don't
Exactly,
have to take an
exactly.
action. I mean, it just happens through
It
you, and
happens
it
through
comes
you.
to yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, it happens through you. Like it's just the signal itself knows how to navigate the web. Yeah. Because this
When we,
when we're out of the way, when we're not contracting. Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, there's lots of ancestral things with this that are the program patterns in the cells. All kinds of things with this. I mean, especially lineages that have had their entire stacks of uh, of homes or businesses or whatever due to war or um, um, genocides or all kinds of things that have had to be abandoned. Um,
ugh,
yeah, all kinds of shit like that, and then just basically the energy mastery that's associated with the reprogramming of opening the channel to abundance after all of that contractiness. The contractiness.
contracting it.
Yes. Oh.
Yeah.
Which
The
is
subtle itch.
beautiful. Yeah, yeah. It's so cool though that this like infinity contracts like that. It's actually the coolest thing imaginable is that it's doing that. It's
It's
almost it's almost so cool that you want to keep holding on. but then you but then you realize that you came to learn how to stop.
how to go though. Like, I mean, yeah, paradox. Instead of stopping,
How
like,
to stop contracting, yeah,
yeah,
and then
yeah,
and therefore how to go in expansion, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Just
yeah, yeah.
it's like it's just the flow.
I'm I'm very excited that the start to this episode, we've been going 22 minutes, but I'm so excited that it went into the biomimicry of biology, like, because I'm such a fucking nerd about that, and just like putting that in all of our DAO infrastructure for the basic needs, abundance on Earth, and
Yes.
and I like how you're bringing it into the level of the body and the cellular level of the body, the somatic level, and the reprogramming on the sensorial level. I love that. I
Yeah.
love that I love that. And I love how we started talking about, like, I love how you have all that the flora in the background too. I think that's a perfect. Yeah, exactly. Oh. And I love how we started talking about like what is it like when the channel is opening up? Like what is it like doing this deprogramming or delimiting? And then what is it what are these expansions like, and then what is the flow like? What are our like signposts that we're on the right flow? So why don't you hit that tennis ball for a bit?
How do we know that we're in the flow?
What are some of the core releases, and then what are some of the core signals that the flow is unobstructed?
Oh, that's a really cool question.
Nice.
The inability to feel fear.
Okay, so that's a pretty strong first one. Okay.
I
Yeah, yeah. Nice.
know instantly I'm going like,
Yeah.
there's no fear.
Yeah.
Okay, baby steps maybe.
Well,
Let's
that's good. We can let's just start with that. Like the
let's
inability.
just start in the end.
Okay. Okay, so interesting. So you would say that that's like the most foundational is like the inability to feel fear slash scarcity slash contraction around the abundance and infinite basic needs and being held by the universe, supported by the universe, as the universe.
Yeah, like I can't feel fear. It's like impossible. Yet I had to test it. Like I can give you like a concrete example.
Mm-hmm.
Times like where I had absolute nothing and I would sit on a coffee shop with my 2 suitcases because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna travel with no money, but I want all my clothes, right? Anyways. People sat in front of me, like out of nowhere, and offered me stuff and talked to me and were kind. Like, and every time I I opened up a new level of fear, like a friend calls me out of nowhere, like, okay, I spent my last $2,000, let's say. A friend's like, hey, right now I'm just happen to fly exactly where you're gonna be at, and I have a new Airbnb. You want to stay with me? Things like that. I mean, you showed up in Paris, like things like that. It's impossible. Like, you sent a signal. I didn't even have to like text anybody. I don't have to like ask for help. I just sit down. I mean, my body was like, fuck, but I knew I was on my mission or whatever. I was doing what I came here to do. And then things just show up. So I feel like that's how I can transmit that fearlessness to people, because I think like if you haven't placed yourself in enough life or that situations, really, it's really hard to like fully trust it. Yeah.
Okay, so one of the pathways to recalibration at a cellular level is to place oneself in scenarios more and more often where you can kind of experience the contractiveness and the reprogramming to not controlling, and to in put yourself in a receptivity, in an expansive receptivity, and a trust and allowance that you'll get the right calls or the right support, and then that brings the fear more and more out of.
Well, I think I was edgy. I'm not suggesting people to do what I did. I just went all in. I'm like, I don't care about my life. Like, I was willing to die. Like, I was like, I'd rather die than live in that mindset.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm not suggesting people to do that. I'm just saying that's how I could break how intense that linearity was in my system.
Well, that's usually what happens on the path to realization, is that there's a burning passion for truth. It's like, I'm either going to die or I'm going to figure out what I actually am. And yeah. And so I guess it's similar in the sense of destroying the fiercity cellularly. Is I would rather face the most crazy scenarios and go beyond scarcity and fear consciousness than even live that for another second. I guess it's equivalent to separation in a way, in that sense, because one's transcending separation and transcending self as they go on the journey. And I guess it's similar, where you're transcending separation and transcending fear and transcending scarcity. So it's a crucial part of realization, it seems like, is to be supported by literally the energy field of the universe, or whatever you want to say, which has no, how could this, what makes everything, how could it have lack?
Exactly. Yeah. The impossibility to believe in lack, and how that opens up the channels of creativity, like the genius. Not only supported by the universe in the way of people, but I was just getting messages of what to put out there. And instantly people were so excited to receive it in a form of business, in a form of trade, in a form of creativity, endeavor. People was like, what am I going to do if I quit my job? I need to figure it out first. What's my entrepreneurship now before I quit? No, quit the job.
Right.
Be like, okay, I have 2 days to pay my rent.
Exactly. Boom.
You're going to get the message.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do that too. I see more where you're coming from there. That's nice. Right. Because if we're not putting out into, if we're not allowing the universal flow to go through the body to put out that, like we were saying, this electrochemical mysterious mushroom signal, then then it's not going to come. You got to put out the pheromones basically as
Yeah.
whatever the offerings are. Because basically service is another way to say it. Like whatever your unique gift is, your unique gift can be met in whatever way. That's another thing. Probably some of the people that were calling you to support you
Yeah.
had experiences with you where they felt like you were serving them or nourishing their journey. If
Of course.
yes, okay, right,
It's always an equal energy exchange, because what they did with me was exactly what I did with them was what they had to do with me. Like, they were happy that I had raised myself to that level so they could experience that exchange. It all happens in a higher self communication level. Yeah.
right. Okay. So what happens, what is their report when they tell you that there's something that was communicated at the level of the higher selves with basically a ripeness to provide when it was needed? Like, what was that? It was just the flow of the universe or was there a describing of what it was from their end, or?
Not really. Like, it wasn't really discussed. It was like an inner knowing in both ends.
And meaning it was like it was a wordless, um, meaning wordless in the sense that you didn't even ask with word, you kind of radiated out, let's say, and there was like an obvious real seeing of like whatever value was being provided or whatnot, and then kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
So interesting, because at this point it's just, it goes beyond human, and it's just like the level of energy behind intentionality, like how everything just flows out of intention and
Right.
an action.
Right.
Yet we need the space to receive, because only those, and vice versa, when people have appeared in my field for me to support with my gifts and my service, they are radiating that frequency, and sometimes I pick it up and they don't even reach out, and I reach out and I give them something they need in that moment.
Can you slow down a little bit? What did you just say?
Okay.
Someone.
I love,
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
okay.
What were you saying? I love what?
I love how it goes to the level of subtlety of energy, because sometimes I receive the signal of the beings that need my support, and they don't even need to reach out to me.
Okay.
And it's an inspiration, and I give them exactly what they need in a moment they need it. And then it balances itself out.
But so then what do you do? Do you call them when, is that normally what's happening?
I get inspired to send a DM to someone or
Okay.
an email, or it's just like, oh, this person needs to receive this. And then
Right. Okay.
they're like, oh my God, I was just asking for this. It's like, it just happens in a telepathic level. To me, that's like my consistent experience.
Right. Basically, it's kind of like whatever the universe is kind of doing the stuff, and it's like whoa, like
Yeah. It's like,
like
I'm not driving my body. It's just like, okay, whatever has to happen.
yeah, exactly, yeah,
Yeah.
right. So that's great. Yeah, that's great because that's more and more of what getting completely out of the way is. It's just
Full
doing itself. Full surrender. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. Yeah, and trust and faith that everything's already taken care of in that flow, and that there's almost um like the intelligence that moves the body to do that telepathic connecting thing is like way more intelligent than whatever idea, like like I don't even know what to describe the small cell. I don't know how to describe it. It's just like
That's cool. You're like I can't even remember how to describe it
yeah.
anymore.
What is that thing? I
What
don't.
is the
What is that thing?
contraction?
Yeah.
What is a person?
Oh.
And
Oh.
yet it's equally like mundane too. It's like when I say, "Oh, what's a person?" It's like, okay, yeah, it's the most ordinary human thing. It's like me without the phobia or neuroses. Me without like the. It's just like relax.
Right. Right. Nice. That's a good way to put it. You know,
Yeah,
without phobia and neuroses, just relaxed flowfulness.
yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Spot on. Yeah. Nice. Nice. The relaxed flowfulness definitely takes the uh, the experience to all kinds of uh, ways that when it's not that can't, or however you would say it. Like the relaxed flow takes the body to all kinds of cool, new, expansive, abundant, yeah, versus I don't know what to do.
Yeah, versus like, oh, what's happened? It's just like, oh, now this is my house. Oh, you're my new friends. Oh, now this is here. Oh, this is my new creative business that I just typed or something typed it through me. I mean, it's so easy. It's so much. I mean, that's to me, that's actually truly living. Before that, you're not living. You're just like trapped.
Right, right. Nice.
Like aliveness, passion, excitement, wonder. And like every day, I'm just like, oh, what's going to happen today? It's like the best TV show.
Right.
So fun.
Nice. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, yeah. At the actual living. Yeah, that's really the key. That's really the key
Mm.
thing. Yeah. It's like yeah, like the universal flow puppeting the body towards the divine aim of the cosmos and the divine aim of this earth, and
Mm.
it's more like really living cuz there's no doing. That's what's the nice thing. Sometimes it's kind of funny cuz like sometimes like like there's like this big thing that like takes so many hours and all of this stuff, right? This big like whatever deployment of something that's to be said or created or whatever it is. And then you get those little glimpses like during like there's like no one home and it's just this beautiful flow and it's like wow, miracle, miracle, dope, dope, dope. And then there's that little like glimpse of like something that wants to like be like or whatever, and then like it's and then it's like get out of the we know what happens when you get like get
Yeah, like the flow is so crystallized and it's no longer faith, it's conviction. So that little feels too it feels too much of a loss in energy investment to focus and click play in that old
right,
advertisement.
right, nice, nice, good way to put it.
Yeah.
Right, right. The thing is like an ad, yeah, and you click into it, and it's like an old reel of patterns that is like yeah, is like yeah, blah. It's yeah, it's something that's been. It's almost like I guess the loop, the code loop itself has various ways of playing itself out. It can be seen throughout more rapid more rapid ways and more clean, more immediate, transformative ways, or it can be kind of delayed where there's still more clicking into the loop until like suffering ramps up enough and it's like, it's okay. Okay. Yeah.
It's like living Netflix. It's like your life is so fun that you can just choose which TV show you want to get inside in. I feel like I become this little fairy and I'm like, okay, let's get inside this TV show. And then it's like, okay, that wasn't that fun. Let's get out. What are my other options? Oh, let's get inside this TV show.
Right. Nice. Resonate. Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole thing with yeah, it's like another way to say it is like you know how, like, I guess what we've been talking about a lot of this is like limitlessness playing with limits, basically. Yeah. And then the you could say one of the contrasts or discernments in the movie options that are flowing is that one of them, it has more limits and one of them's more limitless. And so the whole thing of the body's purification towards God's will is just more and more limitless in its movie. And you can sort of tell where, like, those, like, I it's like it becomes more and more clear where the advertisement comes up, and it's just like you can just see it's just a big contraction.
It's a big contraction. Nice.
Oh, that's so
Oof.
good. That's so good. Jeez.
Mm.
That's so good.
It is so good.
Yeah. I mean, that's some next level, like, life mastery right there. That is next level shit. It's like limitlessness becomes the, like, constant, like discerning flow, and just
Oh, I love you said discerning flow.
nice.
Because yeah, it's infinite surrender. Discerning.
Yeah, nice. Right. Because it's gonna come up, even though there is, like, more and more a deeper and deeper infinite surrender, there's still gonna be this pop up. You can't. What is a?
Wait.
Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous. Like,
Literally, set a computer pop up. Like, you sure you want to take this course?
yeah.
It's your new shorts. Sure. Is you gonna? Are you sure? And then you're like, yes. And then it's like, are you really sure?
Right. You get another chance sometimes. You can, like, open up a message, and the message will, like, be pretty obvious that it's quite a contracted, like, and then you open it up and you're like, it's like the call button, it's there, like, and you get that moment. It's like your second. Yeah. But it's strange because sometimes it's very strange, but let me put this into our field here. So sometimes what limitlessness is going through is calling into that contraction. I guess this is also the discerning flow and whatnot, but it's kind of just doing itself, but just going into that contraction, because in a way the contraction is asking, making a request to be more limitless. Right. And so then the game that's being played is, well, to what degree does this contraction actually want to be liberated, basically? Because if it's obvious from the message that there's no interest, or if it's like a previous track record of not really being interested in being liberated, then you're signing up for a replay of programming, basically, right? Yeah. But if it is more open, it's shown ripeness and all kinds of stuff, then sometimes it can be intense. Like, you can get into that catalyst field, and it'll be like limitlessness interfacing with limits, and it'll be snapping those limits, in the battlefield, in that war zone. Yeah. And then when you're done with it after an hour, maybe like 2 of the 8 that were being attached to or let go of or whatever, and the one that you're speaking to is saying like, God, I feel more free in these 2 ways. Thank you so much. So then at that point, then you what? Just magical mycelium money flows through the ether into Nicole's pockets.
Yes. Basically, it's like an infinite trust fund to play my game. Just because I chose to receive it. I'm like, okay, I'm ready to claim my divine inheritance from source.
So just being constituted as ready to claim divine inheritance from source is enough for the one that felt like they became more free from the interaction, just spontaneously says, can I send you some money for
services? Yeah, it's always a service.
So usually when if it's is it usually pretty cleanly just comes up on their end, like the liberation that they feel, the expansion that they feel, it just naturally sort of flows for them to be like, how can I support you, basically?
Well, usually comes from, I've always had a business, so
right.
But I don't have to work on my business. It's just like people just suddenly in spirit works through them, or infinite intelligence, and they're like, oh, I'm going to search her website and I'm going to just subscribe today, or I'm going to send her an email and I want to, but it's because I don't have to work on it because I'm in a high frequency playing in the field, learning the lessons that then I use to give back to the people that are supporting that. So the only reason I can serve them is because I have the direct experience of what they want to embody.
Right. Exactly. Right. Okay. So basically your beingness emanates in the ether, and then you have enough funnels on social media and web for booking and that kind of stuff that then infinite intelligence moves their beingness towards the limitlessness, towards the expansiveness, and then it also funnels financial resources in that way, basically.
It's a great way to humanize it. Yes.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. It's fascinating because it's so airy and it's also very grounded at the same time, because it's literally a plant. It's so fascinating. It's literally a plant network. And the airy part is kind of the electrical part in a way, because the electrical part is so difficult to map and understand. But the grounded part is like, it's obvious that there's these bodies that are a clear cellular evolution of the earth, and that they are like, I've no idea how the words go out of this mouth and across the internet and into these ears. There's no idea at all about that thing. But then the whole, like, I don't know, the whole nipples thing. I don't know, like pinching these nipples, like there's like a pretty clear like sensation of being in a body, embodied, and at the same time being everywhere. Impossible to understand how any of this is.
Right, because I'm like, it's kind of ineffable to try to put words into like the what it always is. So it's like the what is, it's always flowing in infinite abundance, may it be financially, socially, intellectually, artistically, creatively, like
nice.
Bodily. It's always flowing. So
can you list those categories again? Because we the infinite abundance in the categories of
financially, creatively, socially, spiritually, bodily.
Slow down a little bit so we can kind of feel into each one of those categories. Infinite abundance in each one of those categories.
Okay, I'm gonna shift the vibe. Yeah. A new TV show. These are the categories. These are rainbow, guys. Get in the Nikki program. It's a rainbow.
Yeah.
Abundance in finances.
Okay. Yes, which we've already explored quite a bit. So next.
Okay. Social abundance.
Social abundance. Okay, interesting. So removing the blockages around receiving viewership and family in that way. That like for online, but also social abundance in the form of like meeting like higher net worth people.
Yeah, friendship, soulmate friends, support in every single way. And it doesn't feel like support. It's like equal, because once the vibration is raised into the frequency of prosperity, you just abide in a different reality with avatars or people, soulmates that are already abiding in the frequency of abundance. So you always have an exact reflection of what you believe you can experience.
Right. Okay, so I like that. So the social unblocking is what you would call like equals on the soul level of socialization. Yeah. So like
It's always like that.
basically like best friends is another way to say it. Like ones where the whole spectrum is online on both parties and it's very effortless and flowful. Easy. Okay, so that's social abundance.
Yes.
Next.
Intellectual abundance.
Okay, so what is... I think I have that one. Quite a bit.
Yeah, that came from your field.
Yeah.
I never say that. I'm like, why am I saying this? Is this in your field? No, because
that one's insane here. I don't know if I've ever not had intellectual abundance, honestly. I think my entire life I've had intellectual abundance. It's been insane.
Fuck yeah.
I'm like always, I don't know if I've ever had a contraction in intellectual abundance. Like my entire beingness is constantly being pummeled by the most delicious and nutritious intellectualness that feeds perfectly into what is created. It's just it's a miracle, that one.
Fuck yes.
Okay, cool. Okay. What does it look like if there is like lack in intellectual abundance? What is that like?
I love your question. You're like, what does that mean? That means that the flow of infinite creativity that every being has potential to tap into is blocked by the clouds of fear.
Okay, interesting. So you're because I think I heard you say creative was another thing, but you're kind of bringing some of that into the intellectual piece. So meaning the unique gifts that the universe wants to bring through the body are being limited in some way. And some of that is like an intellectual block.
Yeah.
What is an intellectual block in that way? Kind of like basically a belief of not worthiness is a big one, probably.
I mean, that's too broad, so I want to make it more specific. I mean, that's like the whole collective unworthiness. Everybody has a unique genius, yet it is blocked by saying yes to a version of reality that soul is choosing out of fear and not remembrance of their intellectual capacity. Maybe you were blessed by the remembrance of your intellect at a young age, so you have been able to potentiate it. So now it's just like, oh, that's easy. But some people have that block out of not have given them they haven't given themselves the chance to activate it.
Right. Okay. So one of the ways maybe that's that can come up relatably as like there can be sometimes the felt like divine spark of inspiration that comes, and then it is kind of like shut down by some sort of response because out of fear, basically fear of riding the surf, which and then the riding the surf usually leads to the unknown, which includes like the possibility of more doors opening or the possibility of that creativity landing in the hearts of those that are receiving it. And then that can feedback loop onto itself in a positive way as long as the surface is taken and not feared. That creative spark. Yeah, okay. I feel really like that one's such a big one because by taking the creative spark, yeah, like that's the whole point, is to take the creative spark.
Right, right. That's the next level of, okay, fear doesn't exist. Now what?
Because let's say the basic needs are met, like we've been chatting about and envisioning for the new world, and how we're moving more and more in that direction with these communities every single day. Once that's met, basically abundance, infinite basic needs, then the only thing left is to always be riding the wave of the creative spark.
Yes.
Right.
There's a subtlety there, though, because before I took on my quest of remembrance, I always had my basic needs met too. Yet it was given too easy. So I was like, did I create this? So back to an example of the avatar of the millionaire client. They have the basic needs met and more, but they can be intellectually and creatively blocked because they're not riding the wave of abundance, just
right.
empty money.
Right. That's a good point. So meaning even with basic needs being met, there's still some sort of a like divination or initiation school with learning how to ride the creative spark that one is. Yeah. Nice. Okay. So, all right. So that's intellectual. What was after intellectual abundance? So that's also creative. Would you say those two can kind of be the same?
Yeah, because I believe that the highest genius of someone is the intellect that comes from source, which is pure creativity, not the ego intellect that comes from books.
Yes. Exactly. That's literally what everything is. Everything is the divine creativity of infinity, and it's unbelievable. It's like that's the coolest. It kind of pisses me off sometimes when there's like too much artificially ground creating an artificial ground in emptiness or voidness or being null or any of those things, because it basically says that the creativity of that is not as important, or it's not as, or it's, or like basically the embodied experience isn't something about it. It's like trying to, in a way, it can sometimes be an escape. It's a beautiful place to get to know what one is at that level, but it has to be integrated back into the divine creativity that of what this is.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's an avoidance of even that, like even there's an avoidance of it being creative. Like in, yeah.
I mean, we're creating even if we believe we're not creating. We're always creating something. So may as well just like
nice.
Be intentional with the creation.
I love that. Even interesting. So it's always infinite creation, even if you are relaxed in the deepest of void imaginable.
Or in the worst case scenario, even if you're in poverty consciousness or bigger separate person consciousness, from your infinity, you're creating that experience because you want to have that movie.
Yes. Every single nerve ending is infinity's desire to be completely out of control, wild and free in all of these ways, which is so crazy. The fucking the fucking war one and poverty one, so insane. But okay, so let's continue. So what's after intellect and creativity abundance?
Bodily, that you already kind of mentioned, how to integrate the creative flow that's coming from source into the root, into the groundness. So instead of just download speech, it's download heart center, solar plexus, root integration. Yum. Okay, now from a space of grounded embodiment, this flows through me in an aligned way, because I'm not trying to accomplish or prove to my ego that I am someone or I am doing something. It's just, now that there's no attachment to outcome because there's no fear, creativity flows in the highest expression.
Okay, so body abundance is tied to creativity in the sense of being out, like the small self being out of the way of the creativity. So it's not about itself, but it's about the whole.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So that's where the bodily abundance. Interesting.
I mean, it's also tied to self-care.
Nice. Yeah, that's good too. Yeah. I'm noticing that that's actually in some ways being like very matrix repressed. In all kinds of ways. But bodily abundance in the form of taking really good care of the body is it's so intimately connected to the creative abundance. So much. Those two things go hand in hand. Body care plus the channel is the same thing. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's a vehicle, like proper sleep, like routine, stretches, movement.
Oh my God, yes. Oh my gosh.
Like, you just start moving.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Like, it's not possible to be embodied without deep liberation of the body vehicle itself. It needs to constantly be liberated of all of its cellular and muscular and nerve contractions at deeper and deeper levels. Just like a couple of days ago, I was, again, no one's doing it more and more. It's just the universe is laying on the carpet and it's just doing its weird monkey body stretches, right? Just doing its weird monkey body stretches. And all of a sudden it gets into this super weird position where, one of the arms is up like this. And then I'm bringing my knee up here. This thing, the other leg was down, like, and it was doing this crazy full body, stretch from up here all the way down leg. And it was opening up the quad and the psoas and all of these parts, the really deep, not undernourished, the things that monkeys can get to because they're natural and spontaneous and not contracted like humans, where we're in our minds and avoiding our bodies and stuff. But when you get into that psoa or whatever that contracted, or like, the back is another place and all this kind of stuff, when you get into that through actually nourishing your body, it's crazy how it's like gunpowder, how the creative, like, it just starts raining creativity.
Yeah. So important. And also because the programs, the conditionings are stored in the nerves and the cells. So any subtlety or any, like the deepest of the imprint, like I love looking at people's karmic imprints. Sometimes it has to like be pushed out like to the root, and like how much self-love and self-care can you give your vehicle to push out all that's no longer serving.
Have you seen you've seen like adhesions that like muscular tensions and whatnot? Have you seen those surface on the skin of the body as they leave?
Oh no, how is
So
it?
it's kind of like, you know how with the contractions of like the mind or like this upper area, it's like its own kind of catharsis basically is kind of like what happens. It's very like cathartic pretty much.
Oh, cool.
Well, I'm talking about kind of like when someone's going through a purge or they're going through some sort of like wailing or grieving or whatever, like full
Oh yeah,
like those
yeah.
kinds of releases. Those are more common people see in transformative work. But in terms of like bodily, like muscular adhesion releases and stuff, I'm talking about like you're in there for hours every single day in whatever part of the body, and you're really kind of liberating that area, and all of a sudden you start seeing the surfacing at the level of the skin, the
Yes.
pathology that was baked in there. Yeah, it's fascinating. Yeah.
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 I've experienced that too. It's
Nice.
fascinating. It's like, oh, okay, the conditioning was coming out, and then it's like rashes, or like I'm like, oh, so
Yeah.
in, so visceral that that shit was in there. Like, get out of here.
Yes.
And in that note, are mosquitoes. So everybody, just 1 minute.
Yeah. Cool.
Back.
I'll keep the live chat excited because I love you guys in the live chat. It's been so fun.
Sorry, it was this way.
Okay, go. You guys have been so fun to watch what you've been talking about and how the family's coming together and across this channel and across Nikki's channel, and what you guys are all talking about and how you're bonding together and how you're like the conversation you're having so cool here. How you're reflecting on what we're talking about. The live chats reflecting on what we're talking about. It's like people that have come from watching this channel and watching your channel coming together and being like, I don't know what, one of these comments was so beautiful. It was something like, I love the play here. So few places for authenticity these days.
Oh,
So beautiful. Thank you. That's so cool. I love this family, man. This is our fam, you know?
that's so cool.
These are the types of conversations and these are the types of conversations and family and community that we're excited about, you know.
To do these things in person, isn't that the whole Tao
Exactly, yeah. Right.
experience?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, eventually having, starting off with just smaller homesteads like 20, 50, 100 people in the first kind of homestead developments across different continents, though, like different continents, literally. So the network of light cities is all ready, but certain ones only have like a dozen people at them and stuff. But eventually get to the point where it becomes so easy to homestead. Like the interface is like Star Trek. Like it's so fucking easy to use it. And it's like a miracle, like how beautiful it is and how modular it is. Like you can easily design your home that you want to homestead and have it be plugged into all of the basic needs assets in that community that are already
I love
there,
it.
that are all, yeah. And then within some period, like 5-7 years or so, be completely financially free of the roof over your head also. Okay.
Nice.
And then as we get some of our free energy technologies roaring, we can even move between light cities super quickly, super efficiently, super what did you say? Up,
Remunerated or renourished.
replenishing, renourished. Exactly.
Yes.
Everything is infinite in that sense of replenished and renourished. There's no scarcity or fear. And then we're like, by the way, at these light cities, we're envisioning that all of these light cities, whether they have, anywhere from 1,000 to millions of people eventually, will have centerpieces, maybe even multiple centerpieces, like vortexes, basically. So,
Okay.
yeah. So, have you ever heard of like Matra Mandir over in Oroville?
What is it?
Well, since we have our handy dandy.
I love that concept of free energy. I mean, that's kind of like what I'm talking about. Same thing. Unconditional love.
You are talking about that. We are talking about that exact same thing. Yes.
Yeah.
This is well, I'm showing the on the video right now what Matra Mandir is. It's this gorgeous vortex like centerpiece in the unity consciousness community in Oroville in India, over on the eastern coast near north of Pondicherry. And it's just got this unbelievable like internal meditation chamber where it's like it's reflecting the sun's, it's following and refracting the sun's light
Cool.
into the meditator chamber, and it's lighting up this transparent, huge transparent crystal that the meditators are seeing as a reflection of unity consciousness, of the clear open space.
Nice.
It's unbelievable. And so basically, if we get these types of let me see if I can do Matra Mandir interior. I know it's harder to find it because you're not allowed to bring your devices. Oh yeah, cool. There it is. So this is what the inside looks like. This picture specifically is insane. So yeah, it's it's like a perfect like centerpiece. Like if we get centerpieces like these, when we get centerpieces like these across these light cities, it'll be game over, because within the light cities, these vortexes are going to be like the core of the communities, and then around them is going to be these incredible like parks, unbelievable, like the coolest water park natural reserves imaginable. It's going to be like the coolest hangouts.
Fuck yes.
Yeah.
I mean, sounds like bringing back Atlantis, just like earthly now. It's like, okay, now it's on the top.
Nice. Yes. Exactly. So, okay, so what else was in the list? What did we did body. We did body abundance.
Yeah.
What was after that?
I mean, this one's, I don't know if I would say spiritual abundance, yet it's tied to creativity, yet everything's spiritual. So it's more like connection to your heart, consistent connection to heart. How is that different from intellectual? It's not about creating, it's about abiding in a consistent state of peace. Doesn't matter what shows up.
What if I want to be a raging cunt for the new earth?
Oh, that too. That's the thing. That's what shows up. It's like the rage, it's appearing on the piece, yet you know that it's just, you don't get hooked with the appearance. You're just like, oh, cool, I'm playing rage.
Yeah. Like stillness raging.
It's stillness raging. Yeah. Oh, okay, cool. So it's like the X-Men Mansion mission that I have. So it's kind of like you have all these suits and you just know you're like this X-Men avatar, and you're like, okay, which suit I want to wear today? But you know, you don't have to keep the suit, you can just take it off. Yet it's an authentic suit. It's not like a mask. It's just like, oh, today
Nice.
I want to authentically be
Right.
whatever. Yeah.
Nice. Nice. Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. This is the shapeshifter. Yeah. This is it. So what do you call the? So anyone that's able to access any of the superpowers of the X-Men, basically, you call that just like an X-Men, basically.
X-Men abundance.
X-Men abundance.
It's part of the program. You get X-Men abundance.
Yeah. 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 Totally. I feel like I just started liberating the spiritual straitjacket that was put on around not being able to rage, like like emanating God's wrath for as a warrior for New Earth, basically for the injustices of the contractiveness and the silos and the separation and the war and all that kind of shit. Like, so like that's its own X-Men suit, basically.
Yes.
Yeah. And then there's
Yes.
another X-Men suit, which is like when there's like whatever, like fielding the, like there's like the we have a dog here, and like the dog, like obviously there's no concept of New Earth warrior when there's the presence of the unconditional love of the dog and whatnot. And so there's obviously some sort of weird, like unified melt, basically. That is, yeah.
Yes. Yes, that's sweet. Yet I love that you touch the subject of the rage, because sometimes chaos has to appear to shift things up so there can be even more harmonious peace.
Nice. Yes, yes.
Cool.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's crucial. I've actually the chaos or the disharmony or the rage or whatever on the injustice or the contraction or whatever, that's sometimes the way for the contraction to wobble and loosen, for there to actually be harmony or expansion. So by repressing the catalyst that's trying to flow out to liberate that contraction, yeah, it's actually doing the opposite effect. And that's why the spiritual cunt is one of the most deceptive straitjackets. It's in some ways it's even more deceptive than the separation straitjacket.
Yeah, exactly, because it hides behind fake peace. It's like, are you really peaceful? Like, is it really peaceful, or is it suppression of rage or anger, or are you truly expressing what you want to say? Like, I love your
yes, yes.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Oof.
Yeah.
Feels good.
The mouthpiece not being liberated is even more of a trap and contraction than separation is in many ways. It's like yeah. Go ahead.
It's like a baby pacifier, like a
yeah.
Just nibbling on that baby pacifier. Fake peace.
Yeah. Like so much of the creative potential and the divine spark of the creative abundance, it's dependent on that pacifier being obliterated.
I love you use that word. Yeah. I can see like a fire like bursting in the pacifier, like
yeah. Yeah, the pacifier is good. It's also kind of like a muzzle. Another one, a muzzle on yeah, it's intense. It's just a muzzle in that way.
Okay. There's so much in there.
If you can't like free the nipple, like as you know, the male body, if you can't free the nipple, if you can't, you know, make the joke about, you know, about like you know, if you can't make these kinds of jokes,
You're
are
still
you
suppressing
exactly
something.
are you free? Are you really free? Or is there something about the self-image that is still wanting to be held on to?
Preserve.
Yeah, something about it.
Right.
And you can say that, oh well, like, well, perhaps by not doing such wild things, then the catalysts that are said are more well received. There's lots of ways to put it or formulate it.
Right.
But for example, here it doesn't, that would feel so untrue or inauthentic. So it just wildly does its thing. And then,
Yeah.
you know what's crazy is the getting responses from people that have been watching for a long time. It's like me watching this body, you know, through those eyes. It's like, what? And then like that's been watching for a long time now, and then it's like being like, dude, crazy, like fascinating shit that's been recently happening. Like basically the responses are like, it's almost like clear that there was some game being, like a repressed game being played, which was what we were calling a spiritual program or whatever.
Oh, so you mean like the audience was even opening up more as a reflection of the liberation of the animal?
Right. Yeah. So the free flowingness of this mouthpiece is generating those expansive catalysts for those that are receiving the content, because now it's seen that, what am I repressing?
Right.
Why when was where was the program even that was running? It does seem like some sort of, like, basically in a way a contractive agenda to suppress some of the, basically the new earth in a nutshell, which is beautiful. I mean, it's the Infinity War. It's got to be this way, but it's Infinity War, but holy fuck is that there's so many facets to the straitjacket, like all kinds of little, you know, ties.
Right. It's a literal like constrained program. It's like, take off the jacket. It's like, wait, what? Was I wearing a jacket? Yeah. It's like, take it off and then like show up however you want to show up in the moment. Even if it's free to nip.
Yeah.
Free to nip.
Yeah.
Or if it's rage or anger, it's God expressing as anger.
Yeah.
And like, if it comes back to the peace, I mean, that's the thing, like when to know it's not like conditioning, because it just shows up as that and then it's like relaxes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The underlying current of it all is that, like, it's almost like effortless how much you never leave it. It's like you get so beautifully like embodied in it, and then at the same time it's made of it, and you never leave it, and it's just fascinating because, yeah, it's just like, but like getting drunk on not playing or and whatnot is like, I think that's another huge spiritual straitjacket, is basically being drunk on not playing, and
not playing fully to what wants to happen in that moment.
Yeah.
Even if it means a sacrifice of self-image or
right
collective judgment or
exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. Those are the big ones. Those are the big ones. And then also the limit, the self, we're talking so much about abundance and limitlessness. The limit, that self-imposed limit of the gift not flowing we were talking pacifier, muzzle, whatever. There's all ways, the cellular memories of fear of being authentic or whatever. There's all kinds of ways to say it, but
Right.
those limits are to be shattered. Yeah.
Mm.
Because we want to see you coming fully alive into the play, basically. Yeah.
Right. It's like, love when
Yeah.
you look at the audience.
Yeah.
I'm like, hi.
Hi.
It's like instead of watching TV, you're living the movie. It's like full circle. It's like you want to truly live the movie as a limitless character. What's even the character? I mean, energy.
Yeah.
Show up as you are. And maybe that's not you, but then how would you know it's not you until you play it and get reflected that that's not you? So showing up.
And then there's discernment with that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who can really know? Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I'm like trying to put into words infinity. We can try.
Yeah.
Like a monkey, I'm like, I can try.
Yeah.
So discernment. So what could we say about it? Like, how can we identify if it's a reflection from God's source appearing as rage, or it's just conditioning and projection? Or rage can be anything. How do we discern between, is it conditioning or authenticity?
Mm-hmm. Well, one's a bit more like, I guess, selfish programs, and the other is more like selfless flow for the whole.
How sweet.
Yeah. This whole episode ended up being on this topic in different ways, like prosperity or limitlessness, but in all these different ways, which was super cool. Even though we started on the like financial and whatnot, we got into all these other ways. Is there another one that you want to list?
Legacy, calling work, but it encompasses
Yeah.
all the others. It's like when all the others are in check, you're instantly in your calling.
Right. Yep. Nice.
Without trying.
Exactly. Nice. Yeah, like all the engines are, fully online. And it's like, continuous calling. Super good. And you, when we were saying that, like, the title of it had, like, poverty to prosperity, that fascinating that poverty itself is not just financial poverty, but it's body poverty and intellectual poverty and creative poverty and calling poverty and spiritual poverty. It's just a limit in that sense. It's limit. It's all limit. And then it's limitless. Prosperity is limitless. So the poverty is just limit. And all these different dimensions that we talked about. And then it's obliterating all of those contractions. Which is our school. Our school has been that. So never forget that the school has been just incredible. The school itself.
You mean life?
Yeah, like all of those contractions were so deeply serving. Like every single time that one of them goes, it's like it's its own, crucifixion, death, rebirth type thing, and it's so powerful because each one of them it's like it's you kind of like, you know, it's so your own like your own dojo, you're just like
Yeah,
yeah.
like in the Matrix when they have the program of
Yeah,
samurai.
yeah,
It's like
yeah, yeah, exactly, yeah, yeah, yeah.
you're giving your own sensei stripes. Like, oh, good job.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, yeah. Like exactly what was encoded as the contraction has been uh deciphered, expanded, and it's like you like see the beauty in how how the two are the same intertwined, and like that's the magic. That's really the magic. Like the contraction and
Oh,
expansion are the same intertwined in the same, and then so
yeah.
yeah, getting into it it's like yeah, it's like the contractive magic that's, and then getting into it, and then the gemstone of the expansion is like that, whatever that is, like that's the coolest. Have you ever heard of knot theory? All these different, there's like
Not.
not like KNOT, like knots.
Oh, okay.
It's like infinite ways to make twists, basically.
Yes, like
Yeah, yeah,
every day it's like, how would you like to contract today?
yeah.
It's when you did that, it was like a rose to me. I saw like the rose just flowing in different configurations of explorations.
Nice.
So it's like the universe is making love to itself in every second when you get out of the way, and then you can always feel bliss because you're always in the making love experience instead of
Nice.
contracting yourself like, when can I finally come, or when can I finally, like,
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
instead
Yeah,
of
yeah, nice.
from the contraction trying to like find the release, just get in the wave
Yeah,
and
yeah,
always
nice.
be in the
Nice.
making love experience.
Exactly. Perfectly said. I love that.
Yeah, visceral, yet I'm like, how else can I
Right.
explain?
Way better though to be on the, like that's one of my favorite parts about like uh like sport is that you're like forced to be in the flow, on the wave or whatever. You're forced, or music or whatnot, you're like forced to be on it and in it. Like so like like rather than like, oh, like you're not awaiting the end of the game or the end of the musical piece or the liberation of from the contraction or whatever. You're like, the flow itself is the sex, the flow itself. Yeah,
So you're always fulfilled, like you're always on the peak of the wave or the peak of the orgasm without having to receive the outcome.
yeah,
Like you're
yeah,
always like having fun.
yeah. Nice. Yes, yes. And that's like how we started the episode, was that like, what?
What's happening? Jiggle, jiggle, jiggle.
Yeah. What the fuck? Like, yeah, exactly.
Being able to tap into that at will, that's like liberating.
Right.
Like,
And
yes.
it's crazy that like learning how to like lay down and be by yourself, or be sitting under a tree on a walk or whatever, and just like that's the perfect indescribable flow itself. Like that is,
Right.
that's the universe's cum shot right there. Like it's always it's crazy. What the we were talking about this before we started, that we are the cum and the eggs already. Like we're
We
always
are.
fucking like the words themselves, like this is fucking, like words spoken and received, or from there spoken and received, is sex in a way.
Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a cosmic orgy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
People's like, what? I'm like, that's what it is. So choose your preferred movie because
Yeah.
you're always making love to something.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm. And how this ties to the whole poverty thing, like, or lack consciousness. You cannot sit and do nothing if you're worried about lack. So that's like the basis of
Right.
being the infinite jiggle, like the abundance consciousness, like that's needed for it.
Yes, yes, exactly. Nice. Right. That's great. That's a great tie into like the meat of what we talked about, because one of the best ways to learn if you actually have a limitless or abundance beingness is, can you sit and do nothing and like feel the cosmic sex
Without moving, just sitting there
exactly
alone, without any outside
no
stimulation.
stimulation,
Yeah.
no movement, pure aloneness. And if you get really good also at meditation, like the calming of the mind and its thoughts, even though all thoughts are made of it, but just holy shit, can what is so deeply desired and sought just be fully sat into, and then from there, like that's home, that's abundance, that's limitlessness, and then from there, like new earth and everything that it, like the gifts, all everything is just. I love how we talked about like liberating. You can see it more clearly, those limits and the contractions from there. You can see it more clearly from when it's coming from there. You can catch more clearly where yeah. But you see, if you're really fast, it can be
You just
more.
did the whole Neo thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Code. No, thank you. Yes, please, fuck. Yes, no, thank
Nice,
you. I'm here.
nice,
Oh, I'm expansion.
nice, nice. Yes, yes. That was such a good part too. Fuck. Pop up.
No, thank you.
It's kind of like it's kind of like it pops up, and it has its own little like when discernment, I guess, gets really sharp. There's like its own little like, I guess, AI rating on it. It's like, like 24% chance for expanding two limits, and it's like, I don't know. Previous session, didn't really go into the limits with earnestness or whatever, like, like that's fascinating. Like it's like that kind of like
Instant
yeah
creator of intuitive knowing
yeah yes
that gets perfected out of the past wrong clicks. So
exactly yes
he's like, I
yeah
already clicked in there. No, thank
yeah yeah oh my
you.
gosh, what a crazy beautiful second episode this has been. It's been so cool.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. Wow. So that was like a year and was it 2 years? It was probably two. Yeah, it was 2 years.
From
It
the carrot
was.
one, yeah, 2 years.
Yeah. It's fascinating seeing what transformed, and then how it comes together, and what it kind of, like the words that it uses and how it chats about itself.
The infinite AI inside this monkey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, we chatted about ourselves much in a different, like in a fascinatingly, like different way. Almost like we had both like
Mm.
found what we were and how we work at a deeper level, and we could come together and discuss that.
Yeah. I mean, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like, wow. And it's like such beautiful confirmation, whatnot. I'm like, if today I'm feeling like this has been epic, I'm like, what else can happen? What?
Right.
It's already so good.
So good. Holy shit. We just entered a timeless portal for sure. Yeah. Yeah. That was like, yeah, what the fuck?
What the
Yeah.
infinite? What the fuck?
Fuck. Yeah.
My heart. Mm.
Ah, yeah. Mm, damn. Mm, mm.
You've been here for like 5 hours.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking at the episode timing. It's like, okay, it's been 1:42. Okay, okay. Yeah, cuz go ahead.
No, yeah, but before. So I'm just like,
Oh, yeah, because we did talk for like whatever 2 hours beforehand. That's true. Yeah, we've been in a long portal today. It's been beautiful. Yeah, yeah.
you're like Melissa, like, yay.
God, and the first 2 hours had their own texture to it also. Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is what we were talking about regarding that like social that social soul level connecting full spectrum and finding that family
So sweet.
for sure. Yeah, a year ago in Paris it was like we were like, okay, yeah, we'll meet up for a couple hours, and then it was like, dude, it's like impossible to stop hanging out. It was like,
4 days
okay,
in a row.
okay, okay, tomorrow, yeah, okay, tomorrow. I'll see you. Okay, sounds good. Like it was like you just had to. There's just too much code that had to be exchanged. I mean, kind of like this one. There was just a lot of code again in the
Yeah.
in what we talked about before, what we talked about during the show, like so much.
Cool settings. Next meeting should be Tokyo or something.
Right, that's interesting. Have you been?
No, I don't know where that came up.
Yeah, that's interesting. I haven't been yet, but I've heard such good things about Japan. Yeah. So who knows? Right in that whatever that like main whatever that crazy main intersection or like outside Mount like Fuji or whatever like yeah, yeah. Holy shit. And also just possibly, we took 2 years, and it was nice because holy shit there was a lot of update. But uh but we can do this. We can explore doing this more often too and just see what kind of codes, because it's interesting also seeing that a good amount of both of our channel homies like coming together for the convo and whatnot. So yeah, let's see what happens when we do these osmoses.
Cool.
Yeah.
Blissful dates.
Blissful dates.
With infinity.
The infinite date.
The infinite date, it never
It
ends.
never ends.
It never ends. You're just in an
Yeah,
infinite date with
date.
yourself.
Exactly. Yes, nice. Yeah,
Infinite date.
yeah, 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 yeah. Every engagement with yourself is its own date. It's its own date. Its own date. You know, like mom's a certain kind of date. Like Nikki's a certain kind of date. Your person that's coming in for the transformative work's another kind of date. Like each one of them's like its own.
More me in them, vice versa.
Yeah, exactly. Every single time it's that. It's like,
Yes.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's a
yeah,
new
yeah,
flavor of God in
yeah, yeah,
another. It's like, woo, what now?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Woo. Yeah, flavors of God. Yeah, that
yes.
maybe that's our next episode title.
The flavors of God. Yeah. I love it.
That's pretty cool. Right, right. Oh. Okay, well, we wish literally everyone that's watching this and that will have watched this. We wish you incredible abundance and shattering every single imaginable limit and total
Yes.
prosperity. Yeah, fuck yes, yes,
Infinite flavors.
yeah, yeah. Infinite flavors of shattering limits and to prosperity. I love that. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Um, we have Nikki's. Let's actually let's bring it up. So we have her. Do. Her YouTube channel is linked in the bio below. So she's posting content on there quite often across a variety of awesome transformative topics. So go and check those out. And subscribe over there, and you can also follow her on Instagram, and that link is below. And if you want to have a session, there's a link here for signing up for session or emailing. The Nikki's email is also in the description. You can reach out. And you do a 15-minute offering and a 60-minute offering, right? I saw.
Yeah. I do remote as well. I can work on people's fields without a session. So if they're interested in those types of healing, they can email me. And I do portals, 1 month long containers with 3 souls at a time. And I have one in December 12th. I have 2 people in, and there's one more spot. If somebody's interested, they can also email me. 12-12-12 portal.
Interesting. What are your offerings? You said you do sessions that are like shorter, long sessions, then you do ones that are completely remote. And then
So I have one synergy call. So if somebody wants to connect for 15-20 minutes, that's free. Although I'm fully booked till March or April of those synergy calls. I do remote healings, so they can send me an email and we don't have to meet on Zoom. It's just I can tap into people's fields from a distance and provide healing and opening of their energy centers. And that comes with one session too. And I have month-long containers that I do sometimes, like every 3 months or so. And I have one opening on December 12th.
okay. And the 3-month containers are a small group.
Oh no, every 3 months I have a 1 month container.
Oh, every 3 months is a 1-month container. And how many people
Yeah,
are in that?
3. It's
Okay.
really intimate.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting. And then how many times do you meet with them during that month?
Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and we have a Telegram portal open.
Okay.
every day, voice notes and texts.
3 times a week for an hour.
An hour and a half,
So
sometimes
like,
2, like whatever needs to happen. Yeah,
right.
just yeah. Like a boost. Like let's move through the next phase of life, like in a month, like deep
Right,
transformation.
like boost through. Yeah, nice.
It's like those, those Mario Kart.
Oh yeah,
When
right.
you could go. That's what it is.
Yeah, nice. That's a good analogy. Very relatable one. Yeah. And sometimes you got to catch the boost strip to ramp up to collect the box that has a power up in it, and stuff. Yeah.
And then when they leave the container, then they keep the box so they can keep moving fast.
Yeah. Because they whatever that power up that they got was, they're now able to deploy that in their field, in their wisdom, and use it for their gifts, and like that's beautiful. Nice. It is really a boost. I like that. It's a boost. It's almost like, because the code is already there, so sometimes it's like a freeing of a limit, but it ends up being a boost is what it ends up. Yeah. Gosh, this Mario analogy is so good. Like, yeah, totally. Nice. Okay, so that's that's the offerings. Those are all in the description. And let's see. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Like the video. Share it with those that you feel like would have a fun time giggling with us and talking about all facets of abundance. Yeah. Oh. Comment below with what was most resonant for you. We'd love to hear from you. And oh yeah, you can check out the links in the description for HomeDAO. You can get involved in decentralizing basic needs infrastructures and homesteading and getting into these new Earth communities. Yeah, and yeah,
Wee, the new Atlantis.
Yes. And there's some more links that are on on my website in the description also, which has all kinds of stuff. Like there's coaching stuff there. There's other projects there. There's also a solar punk gallery, which I fucking love. It's like it's like a new Earth collage of
I love that solar punk.
yeah. I'll bring it up so we'll have it in the in video. So here under solar punk is this catalog of just stunning new Earth architectures and blueprints of perfect harmony of indigenous wisdom with modern technology.
Fuck yes.
Exactly.
Perfect harmony with infinite technology.
Yeah.
It's like this. Well, now it's dark. It's like nature with this really high tech infrastructure, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly it. Yes. Yeah.
Oh.
It's funny because most of us have had the vision that that's what the new Earth is like. So it's even coming in a decentralized way that so many people have been talking about these light cities where it's a perfect merging of indigenous nature wisdom with utopic modern technologies, infinite abundance. Like it's just like it's perfect. It's a perfect mix. It's just that all those contractions are to be expanded in order for that to actually flow. Because while there's all that, this is not, doesn't let the flow. Yeah.
That doesn't go through the Mario Kart slide.
Yeah, I was just about to say that too. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is the banana peels. Yeah, which then make you spin off of the track.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what it
yeah,
is.
yeah. And then you have to
So
wait
the
like
booby traps, Matrix booby traps.
yes, 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 yes. Including all kinds of selfing, endless, endless selfing and limits. Yeah,
Endless selfing,
selfing.
endless self-absorption, endless validation.
Right, right. And more of this, more of this.
More of that.
Yes.
Is
Boom.
that booyah?
Booyah.
Sweet.
Sweet. So I'll end the stream now. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Stay for a bit. We'll
We'll
run.
keep in our infinite date.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay. Much love, everyone. Mwah. Bye.